Charlotte's light rail.
And we're hearing some of those painful 911 calls in newly released tapes on that tragic stabbing aboard the city's CATS light rail.
Plus, the government shutdown stretches into day 2, how local nonprofits are bracing for the busy season.
We just can't afford any more cuts at all or any more delay in those services and benefits.
The strain nonprofits are already feeling and how soon they could get some relief.
Walmart says it's eliminating synthetic food dyes from store brands. How the move could force industry-wide change and impact what ends up in your cart.
As we mark Breast Cancer Awareness Month, new data shows diagnoses continue to rise.
The type of breast cancer doctors say is hardest to detect and why early screening matters now more than ever. Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up on WCNC Plus.
All right, everyone, time to wake up and get the day going. Want to let you know about 485, where we do have some construction work. It's going to be on the inner loop between Ray Road and 521 right there. You can see all the red. And also, Independence is not looking ideal, both inbound and outbound. Actually, outbound lanes right now are delayed because of a crash right over towards Briar Creek. So keep that in mind. Allow for a little extra drive time to get to where you need to be so you're not late. Chris?
All right, let's turn the day all the way up. We're talking about sunshine today and tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous, just on the chillier side. We have the mid to the upper 50s for this morning, the lower 50s by tomorrow, so that'll be the coolest. And then rocking right around 80 degrees for this coming weekend. A lot of events going on. There's Kids Fest. You have the start of the Renaissance Festival. You also have the Rollville 400, the Panthers game. Looks like we're staying dry for those, but rain chances do increase heading into next week, especially Tuesday and Wednesday. It's warmer and steamier at that point, too.
Cue the smile emoji.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great Thursday. Remember, join us on WCNC Plus starting at 7.
Well, good morning and thanks for joining us on WCNC Plus at 7. I'm Autumn Bracey in for Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. A live look at the roads as you head out to work on this Thursday. This is I-77 at Gold Hill there. Majestic is going to have a check on traffic in just a moment. But first, we need to find out more about our forecast for today. Chris is standing by.
Thank you very much. I guess walking on the side. Now I'm standing by. 57 degrees right here around Charlotte, 54 in Lincolnton, and 53 in Boone. So this right now will be our low temperature for the day. Typically, by the way, the sun's rising up officially around 7:20, but it's usually within a minute to 45 minutes before sunrise that we usually hit our morning low. Sometimes it can be 30 minutes after, but that's splitting hairs. No matter what, pretty much right around the sunrise time. That's exactly where we're at right now. So 57 degrees right now. Could still fall an additional degree depending where you are. But compared to just a day ago, this is a big difference. And this map is going to be blue for tomorrow, just not as vast of a change. So I'm talking about a 10 to a 17 degree cool down from just a day ago. So when you walk outside, it's going to be noticeable. You're going to be like, ooh, all right, maybe I should have that heavier jacket. But here's the problem. It's going to be sunny in the mid 70s. Now in the shade, that might feel cool to some, but that jacket is likely going to end up in the back seat. This camera dropped off. It's not that dark outside, I promise you. 75 degrees right here around Charlotte, 72 in Salisbury, and then mid 60s, still sitting pretty right around Boone. Here's what you can expect hour by hour. Those winds, that's what that top bar is, the sit above all those dries, right around 10 miles per hour. Occasional gusts maybe up to 15 plus. But that's very rare throughout the day. High temperatures, mid 70s today and tomorrow. Lower to the mid 80s by your Saturday, Sunday. By the way, yesterday we hit 81, so 80 degrees is pretty much what it's going to be, like a carbon copy on Saturday. If you like yesterday, you're going to love Saturday. But Sunday is interesting. Things are trending much cloudier for Sunday. I'm not seeing any rain, so that means your drive for the Panthers game, the Roval 400, and anything that's going on. But it's the tricky time frame, really, Tuesday into Wednesday, that we're tracking a cold front. And that cold front could start to stall out a little bit, keeping clouds and rain around for your next Thursday. That would be the 9th of October. So that's something that we're watching pretty closely. Meanwhile, our low temperatures hitting their bottom for your Friday. The warmest looks to be on Wednesday morning. And that's the day that we're also watching for some potential impacts as far as thunderstorms go. Way too far out to really judge it. Just kind of something that's caught our eye. And that's where we see the correlation. Whenever you're talking about day 7 to 8 of the forecast, already around a 50% chance, that means you got a major what's called synoptic player, or a wide scale system like a cold front, a big low pressure system that is going to impact your forecast. So that's something that we're going to watch very carefully over the next week or so. So as I usually like to say, I'm going to put my weather bookmark right here. We're going to stop it here because I want to talk a little bit more detail about the tropics. I'm also going to show you the extended surface map, what this is going to look like for the back end of the forecast. So I'll see you soon. Comes weather, also comes traffic. Let's see the impacts. Let's get over to Majestic.
All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get to it. It is our Thursday, and we have a few things to let you know about because the roads are starting to get quite busy. It is 7:03 right now. I do want to start with one of our new accidents this morning. That orange means that really cars are moving slowly right here, and it's because we have one lane that's blocked because of a crash. It's going to be on Tryon Street, impacting northbound lanes at Moss Road. And then just to the north of it, we do now have a stalled vehicle as well, which is making for another lane that's blocked. It's going to be on W.T. Harris Boulevard westbound at IBM Drive. As we're moving on over to Gaston County, good morning to everyone. I-85, those delays, they are ongoing. No crashes or anything like that, just more people are heading up to Charlotte. And then you can see this crash here on Freedom Drive and Morse Chapel Road, seeing some minor impacts there. Now this is kind of a spot that I'm going to continue to keep my eye on. It's not because of a crash. It's actually because of more construction work. It's going to be I-485, the inner loop between Ray Road and 521. So from exits 59 to 61, you will have those delays. Plan accordingly. That red is meaning that cars are right now at a stop and go.
Thank you, Majestic. Well, we've got some new information on a plane collision that happened overnight. Authorities say two planes hit each other on the taxiway at LaGuardia Airport in New York.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live for us this morning at Charlotte Douglas, where we've learned that one of those planes involved took off from right here in Charlotte.
We were taking a right off of the main runway, and all of a sudden you feel the brakes go on, and you see this object come across the left side of the plane. You feel the front of the plane just kind of get dragged to the right, and you can physically feel like in your seat, you moving to the right.
Yeah, that was one of the passengers saying that actually that's what he felt when those two CRJ-900 regional jets collided on the ground, which is the good news. On one plane, there were 58 passengers aboard that, and on that plane, flight 51, 55. On the other flight, that was actually about to take off to head to Roanoke, Virginia. That plane had some passengers on it as well. We can tell you the good news, no one seriously injured. One flight attendant, we're told, was taken to the hospital, had bumped, the flight attendant had an injured knee, not a serious significant injury, but nonetheless the good news is that no one was injured. We can tell you, no one was seriously injured, I should say. We can tell you one other thing about this. When the impact happened on the ground on that tarmac at LaGuardia Airport, it actually took the wing off of one of those regional jets. Those CRJ 900s are flights that carry anywhere up a capacity of up to 70 or 76 passengers. They're usually taking folks from larger to smaller airports or from smaller airports to smaller airports. They're regional jets. The Endeavor is the regional jets that service our subsidiaries of Delta Airlines. Again, one of those flights just landed from Charlotte in New York. This all happened at 10 o'clock last night. That's when another flight that was taking off on the tarmac collided with it. Both planes had some significant damage. One plane lost a wing. All passengers were okay, except for that flight attendant who did not have significant injuries. This is something the FAA is investigating as we get more information throughout the morning. Of course, we'll put it right there in our app, and we'll have it online as well. We're right here at Charlotte Douglas International. Richard Vane, we'll send it back to you.
Again, thank goodness there weren't any serious injuries. Richard, thank you for that live report. Right now, CMPD trying to get to the bottom of a deadly shooting near Uptown. We've learned one person died after being shot on Metropolitan Avenue a little before 9 last night. That's near a large shopping area off Charlottetown Avenue. CMPD telling us an off-duty officer heard the call for service and found that victim. The officer administered CPR. The victim, though, died at the hospital. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number 704-334-1600.
A family-owned restaurant in Noda is closing its doors during the upcoming trial for the men accused of killing the co-owner. Scott Brooks was shot and killed outside Brooks Sandwich House in 2019. Two men, Stephen Staples and Terry Connor Jr., are charged in this case. Brooks' twin brother, David, says he wants to be in court to speak for Scott and is asking for the community's support. The trial starts October 27th.
Coming up here on WCNC Plus, the federal government shutdown continues. Details if any progress was made overnight.
are taking a live look over Washington, D.C. this morning, where the government shutdown continues, and so are lawmakers. Senators are not in session today, meaning no opportunity for votes that could reopen the government.
Now, as Americans prepare to deal with the consequences, NBC's Bianca Fascini is learning how soon the Trump administration will begin mass firings.
Every other
to make this bill
shutdown.
24 hours later, and both sides are still blaming each other.
Donald Trump and Republicans shut the federal government down.
The Democrats followed through on their threat to shut down the United States government.
While lawmakers will be in Washington Thursday, Capitol Hill was already planned to be fairly quiet in observance of Yom Kippur, according to Senate Majority Leader John Thune. The Senate holds their next vote Friday afternoon. As Americans wait for the stalemate to resolve, many federal workers are bracing for layoffs.
We're not getting paid for the work we're performing. We're nervous about making ends meet. And the American people are also nervous about what a government shutdown means to their earned benefits.
We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run.
Now, the Democrats say these layoffs will be targeted toward government programs the GOP doesn't like.
Targeting the clean energy economy. Republicans have been doing that since January 20th and assaulted the clean energy economy and the creation of good-paying American jobs in their one big, ugly bill.
But it's a claim that the administration denies. At the heart of the issue is health care. The Democrats want to reverse Medicaid cuts and President Trump's tax breaks and spending reductions from the summer. They also want to extend tax credits that make health insurance premiums more affordable for the millions of people who purchase through the Affordable Care Act. For now, it seems like neither side is willing to budge. And according to the Congressional Budget Office, an estimated 750,000 federal employees could be furloughed each day of a shutdown. Now, the shutdown means the Labor Department will be unable to release its monthly jobs report tomorrow, though it is highly anticipated since the labor market has shown signs of softening. In Washington, Bianca Fascini, NBC News.
Coming up in about 20 minutes, our Destiny Richards is going to break down how the shutdown is impacting us here locally.
Trending this morning, people around the world remembering Dr. Jane Goodall. The legendary conservationist died at the age of 91. She revolutionized how scientists study animals and remained a tireless advocate for the environment throughout her life. Ann Thompson has more on Goodall's lasting legacy.
Only death could silence Jane Goodall and her passionate defense of the environment.
We've got a window of time to start healing some of this harm we've done to the environment.
At 91, passing away from natural causes while on a speaking tour in California after a lifetime of advocacy, starting with her beloved chimpanzees. In 1960, with little scientific training, she went to Tanzania and changed the way we look at these great apes by doing everything the scientific community then thought was wrong.
They were totally horrified. I'd named the chimps instead of numbering them. I talked about them having personalities. I talked about them having minds and being able to have rational thoughts and emotions, happiness, sadness, fear. And all of these things were supposed to be attributes only of humans.
Immersing herself in the jungle, she discovered the chimps could make tools, ate meat, and fought wars, captivating the world.
I got on a Geographic cover, and then there were all these people saying, well, she's only successful because she's got nice legs. My attitude was, well, if that's what gets me to get money to study the chimps, which is my passion, thank you, legs.
A prolific author, she spoke for the creatures she understood.
That's good morning in chimpanzee.
Goodall married twice and had one son, but her lasting legacy is the relationship forged in the wild.
I want to be remembered for having helped people to understand the true nature of animals, that they do matter as individuals, that they do have a part to play in the scheme of things, and they're not just objects, they're beings, and they're part of it.
Teaching us about chimpanzees and ourselves. Ann Thompson, NBC News.
Well, coming up, we will have an update with Majestic. There is a major crash on I-77 north of Griffith. You can see some big slowdowns there. Stay with us.
All right, good morning, everyone. If you're just joining us, we now have a big traffic alert. I want to show you some of our live cameras right here. You can see this is I-77. This is going to be north of Griffith, where we do have several emergency responders here on scene. There has been a pretty bad accident right there that's significantly slowing down that morning commute. You can see a lot of the lanes are currently closed. The toll lane, 2 out of the 3 normal lanes as well. This is out towards Langtree Road. So again, this is mainly going to be impacting I-77, those inbound lanes. You can see what's going on there, but even showing you another perspective, how big this delay is. You can see everyone basically moving very slowly or just at a stop and go. So again, that's at mile marker 33, but this specifically is at mile marker 32 as we're switching it back and forth between some of our live camera shots. So this is going to be the big thing that you need to know about. Again, this is going to be our inbound lanes if you are heading towards Charlotte. This is already a very well-traveled spot this time of the day, so definitely not going to be helpful for the morning commute. Make sure you're allowing for plenty of extra drive time to get to where you need to be. I want to show you on our map right here specifically where it is. So it's going to be north of Uptown, out towards Lake Norman, Mooresville specifically. 77 inbound, it's the express lane, and then the left 2 general purpose lanes are currently closed right now. So 2 out of the 3 lanes currently closed. You may just want to take Charlotte Highway instead to try to get your way closer to Charlotte. We will keep you up to date on that because, of course, that's going to be the most significant thing. We also have this one lane that's blocked that's also slowing many people down this morning. It's going to be right here on Tryon Street, northbound lanes at Moss Road. We'll have another update on your traffic and morning commute coming up here shortly.
All right, Majestic, we'll continue to keep you updated on that. Weather, I'm happy to say, at least is calm, so we're not going to add more insult to injury for your morning commute. It's nice and dry overall. Check it out, check it out. But then we start to see an isolated to scattered rain chance a little bit later on. So as I mentioned, I'm going to take the weather bookmark out. If you were watching at the very beginning, I stopped the forecast because I want to spend a little extra time. That gives us the advantage here on WCNC Plus to take a deeper dive into certain aspects. So our branding is weather impact. So we're all about telling you when is the weather going to affect your day-to-day life. You don't really have to worry about anything except for maybe the urge of needing to be outside about how gorgeous it is. That's a good impact. But the ones that aren't so great are when you have widespread rain. We're not going to see that right away. I think the big change that you're going to see through the weekend is we pick up more clouds. That's not a big effect. But then once you get to about Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we still have a lot of things up in the air. It's going to be hotter, it's going to be more humid, and if you mix in something to lift up all that heat and humidity, such as a cold front, that's where you can have widespread rain and even some thunderstorms. So I'm freezing this right here around 2 o'clock. Again, this is the back end of the forecast. Our 7-day forecast shows today, Thursday through Wednesday. So day 7, so much can change, but we are seeing what pieces are on the board. Since this front is going to be nearby, there is a chance that we could have not just rain, but a stronger thunderstorm, dare I even say severe possibility. So it's not any impact alert or weather alert day as of yet, but I'm just letting you know that we are watching it, and we will have some lingering rain likely heading into your Thursday. But again, that timing can change to as late as Thursday, as early as Tuesday. Just wanted to really point that out. So our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast shows the best, the greatest days. Really, yesterday was included. I think it was yesterday through Friday that is the sweet spot of the forecast because they're the sunniest, they feel great. Saturday still feels great, but we're starting to increase the cloud cover, and I think overall Sunday is going to be mostly cloudy. Still a great day. Temperatures around 80 degrees, and it will start to feel more humid as we head into next week. And beyond this, heading into day 8 of the forecast, which of course isn't on the 7-day, we're talking about a drop from the 80s into the 60s. So a significant change. So what are we going to do? We're going to take advantage of the best feeling near perfect days that we have to start off October, because this is the month the temperatures are going to be all over the place, ranging from the mid 70s to the mid 80s. Enjoy the sunnier, the drier, and the more comfortable days while we have them. Autumn, take it away.
Thank you very much. Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools is honoring a teacher who reached a milestone few ever see. Lloyd Davis is a drafting teacher at Ard-Kell High School, and he's marking 60 years in the classroom. WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris has more on this experienced teacher's impact across the generations of students.
It's not often you run into a teacher who has 6 decades in the classroom. And at Ard-Kell High School, one teacher's dedication for his students is being honored, and a reminder that having a passion for teaching never gets out of style. Across 3 states and countless classrooms, Lloyd Davis has helped numerous students. The drafting teacher has shown students how to create technical drawings and blueprints used in fields like architecture, engineering, and design.
We couldn't have modern society today as it exists if it were not for someone who knows how to draw the plans. So that's been my life these 60 years. That basically is what I've taught for all this time.
His latest stop, Ard-Kell High School. CMS leaders call him a pillar of excellence.
He's so intentional about the work that he does. He's so passionate, and the kids enjoy him every day in the classroom.
What makes Davis's 6 decades in the classroom so remarkable isn't just the longevity, it's his unwavering commitment to high expectations and genuine care for every student.
The way that you see his passion come through every day, not only with teaching, but just his presence. He's here every day. He's one of the first ones in the building, and he stays late, and he's very dedicated. So I think he's definitely the exemplar of what we want all teachers to be and educators.
At an age when most have long since retired, Davis continues to show up every day, proving that teaching isn't just a career, it's a calling. If you had one life lesson that you've experienced outside of the classroom that you help instill with your classroom philosophy, you would say that would be what?
Hard work.
That was Miles Harris reporting. Well, we are going to take a quick break, but make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. We're going to have another update on weather and traffic and coming up in about 2 minutes, as well as the day's top headlines at 7:30.
Well, good morning, everyone. Want to let you know that we do have a traffic alert for you this morning. Take a look at your TV screen. This is going to be on I-77 just north of Griffith, where you can see we do have a lot of emergency responders there on scene. It's because of a big accident this morning that's going to significantly slow down that morning commute. It's going to be inbound lanes that are highly impacted by this. You can see it's out towards Langtree Road. But even as we zoom it on out, you can see how significantly delayed this is really taking your morning commute. All of the lanes really being impacted by this. As we switch it over to my live traffic map, again, 2 lanes blocked right now, 1 express lane, and this is going to be southbound for exit 31. That's Langtree Road. You can see all the red there out towards Mooresville. So again, this could be your best alternate route for you this morning. Might want to just avoid taking I-77 and take Highway 152 instead. Chris, how's the weather this morning?
Well, it's significantly cooler by about 10 to 17 degrees, really hanging out in the 50s, but we're getting up to about 75 today. Lots and lots of sunshine, something for us to enjoy. Our 7-day forecast brought to us by Jerry Hunt Supercenter. We have highs in the mid 70s with perfect sunny skies over the next couple, right around 80 degrees this weekend, low to mid 80s with rain chances heading next week. You can catch us over on WCNC Plus with live stream right now. Hope to catch you over there. In the meantime, we'll be back at 30.
You are streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I am Autumn Bracey. The government shutdown is now in day 2, and more than 100,000 North Carolina federal employees are not receiving paychecks.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Riches joins us live in the studio this morning, breaking down the local impacts. Destiny.
As the shutdown enters day 2, families across North Carolina are left wondering when their next paycheck will come. And local organizations say they're already stretched thin. 140,000 federal employees are missing paychecks, and many are expected to be furloughed. Active duty military and TSA workers in the state are still reporting to work and could go without immediate pay if the shutdown extends beyond 2 weeks. Local leaders say small businesses and recovery efforts in Western North Carolina could also feel the impact if this lasts much longer. Here in Charlotte, nonprofits like Nourish Up are already bracing for more demand, remembering the last shutdown in 2018 that stretched into 2019.
We just can't afford any more cuts at all or any more delay in those services and benefits. It's quite alarming and just scary situation for our neighbors that rely on us for support and those that may need to rely on us in the future.
State officials say benefits like SNAP and WIC have enough cushion for now, but that could change if the shutdown continues. In the meantime, Nourish Up is asking for donations and volunteers to help families in need. We have information on how to do that in this story on the WCNC News app. Autumn.
Thank you, Destiny. With federal workers now missing out on payday, many people are questioning which programs will continue to operate and which ones won't. So let's break it down. Social Security recipients will continue to receive their benefits. However, Social Security Administration workers could face furloughs, so processing for new applications could be delayed. Student loan borrowers will have to keep making those payments. The Department of Education says it will also continue to send out student aid. The Department of Agriculture says the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP or food stamps, will continue subject to the availability of their funding. The programs are funded at least through October.
All right, good morning, everyone. Want to give you an update. We are traffic alert right now because of a big accident. Take a look at your screen. We are looking at I-77. This is north of Griffith right here. Express lane is completely blocked at this time. And then 2 out of the 3 lanes, the normal lanes, are blocked as well. Traffic is trying to get by just a bit by this ramp right here, trying to get around that. But this is a significant delay for your morning commute. Again, this is going to be inbound. And typically, we already have delays in this area because a lot of people are all heading in the same direction. So it's not going to be helpful, but I want to show you just another perspective. This is another live camera. This is now mile marker 33, where cars are at a complete standstill. So this is going to be a big headache for many of you if you do typically drive this way for your morning commute. I want to take you to that specific spot on my map right here. Again, out towards Mooresville, I-77 southbound. The general purpose lanes are completely blocked. The express lane as well. This is near Langtree Road. This is going to be because of that crash that I just showed you. And again, traffic is trying to get around it by using the ramp lane. You might just want to avoid that, and you may just want to just drive through Mooresville to help you get a little closer to Charlotte. But there will be delays. Lots of people already starting to take that alternate route. We'll have more on this coming up here shortly. But for now, we're going to send things over to Chris with the latest on the weather forecast. Good morning.
Good morning, Majestic. So it is cooler, plain and simple, because 24 hours ago, by the way, this is just the difference from exactly 24 hours ago. It's 10 degrees colder for you in Charlotte, a 4-degree downgrade in Boone, but most of us are at least 10 to 17 degrees cooler than just a day ago. We were mainly in the mid to the upper 60s yesterday. Ooh, we are feeling it. It is 57 degrees right now, 54 right around Gastonia, and 48 for you in Wadesboro and Salisbury. You're also in the 40s club. Not necessarily a good or a bad thing, just chilly. And right now we're at 57 degrees, and likely our temperature at this time is going to be around 53, 54. So you are expecting a slightly cooler morning by tomorrow, but it's not as big of a shock and awe to the system like things are changing up on you. Look at that beautiful sunshine over here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 75 degrees right around Charlotte, 76 for a high around Lancaster. This is about a 5 to 6 degree swing compared to a day ago, and not a big deal because you have the power of that sunshine. All day sun, wall-to-wall sunshine. This is going to be a great day. Mid 70s, really perfectly comfortable. As far as our lows go, we're at 58 degrees for the time being, starting to warm up now, but check it out. 52, 53, 58. So we're going to be in that range of really all over the 50s over the next couple of mornings, but it does look like your Friday morning is going to be the cooler one. And then tomorrow we start off in the lower 50s, and we'll keep some sunshine around for most of the day, but we'll pick up a few more clouds. Again, lower to the mid 70s across the area. Not a bad forecast, by the way. Football Friday, you have a pretty good forecast there as well. However, maybe you want to wear your favorite high school sweatshirt, though, because it is going to be much cooler. Fine for the kids playing football, though, because you're going to be running around, but sitting in the stands by the time that game's ending, sitting in the lower 60s with no sun might feel chilly for some. Especially if you have that southern blood. You know what I'm talking about. Renfest, well, ye be comfortable on your Saturday, but huzzah, we are looking at more clouds to cometh in on your Sunday. It's going to be a regal weekend and regal days ahead. If you've never been to the Renaissance Festival, I'm saying you're missing out. It's a fantastic time. The people watching is just great, and just the people in general are awesome. Good food too, especially if you continue around the bend. It's the guy that heckles you, though. You can throw tomatoes at him. It's pretty awesome. You have a dry atmosphere from your Thursday heading into your Sunday. Isolated showers on Monday, but then what's going on here? Tuesday into Wednesday is our next big change in the forecast. That's where you can expect more showers and storms to start to roll in. It's also a lot more humid and a lot warmer at that point. So we got a big question mark. It's at this point Tuesday into Wednesday. We'll iron out the details a little bit more on Friday heading through the weekend. That would be our best chance for thunderstorms, maybe even a strong thunderstorm. So we are watching this in general, but too many question marks, really more questions than answers. But of course, we'll let you know if there's any impacts that you need to know about. In the meantime, really no big effects in the short term. So looking good. So looking at this preview screen, Autumn, you're at a box. What are you talking about?
All right, thank you, Chris, for that update. Well, a massive new development is set to reshape in South End. WCNC Charlotte's Walker Lawson shows us how this project plans to bring affordability to this growing neighborhood.
Well, this open field off of South Caldwell Street, right near South Boulevard, is expected to turn into a massive mixed-use community.
Another change coming to the South End skyline.
It's significant densification on South Boulevard.
As Center South has announced plans to break ground in early 2026, right near where Uptown, South End, and Dilworth meet.
Since it sits right next to Dilworth, the development will respect that residential neighborhood as it steps down or tapers down towards the neighborhood while building in density and height as it goes towards Uptown.
Phase 1 of the project will be a 329-unit multifamily community with 20% marked as affordable housing.
That's a really important piece in order for Center City and South End continue to be inclusive. It's also a really good piece about bringing together mixed income neighborhoods.
By 2028, the plan expands further. Office space, retail, a hotel, and even more housing.
People need to fit in somewhere. And so as an urbanist, right, more densification is a much smarter way to grow than sprawling out. And so with that densification, you're getting larger buildings being located outside of Uptown.
It's a vision South End residents think will only help the area.
So I'm very much in favor of increasing the housing supply. I think that's how you keep it affordable. Charlotte has managed to be right in the sweet spot between, as crazy traffic as Atlanta and as unaffordable as Chicago or New York. So I think it plays to our strengths.
Reporting in South End, Walker Lawson, WCNC Charlotte.
So much growth underway. Thanks, Walker. Well, if you're looking for a new start, today Union County Public Schools is hosting a non-instructional career fair. This fair is going to include a range of roles from bus drivers and nutrition staff to electricians and after-school program staff. It all starts in just a few hours at 11 a.m. at East Elementary in Monroe. Hiring managers are going to be on site to answer questions and help people with their applications.
Growing confusion over new abortion bills in South Carolina. We verify what's really in the proposal and who it could affect. Welcome back to WCNC Plus. South Carolina lawmakers are discussing a proposal that could reshape the state's abortion law and policies on reproductive health.
Now, there have been a lot of conversations on social media about what this bill actually means. WCNC's Megan Bragg verifies what's included in this law and its potential impacts.
Our sources to answer this, the South Carolina Legislature and the American Civil Liberties Union of South Carolina. Senate Bill 323 is also known as the Unborn Child Protection Act. The bill is described by supporters as a measure to protect life, but opponents say it represents one of the most restrictive and extreme abortion bans in the nation. It could also impact access to certain forms of birth control, in vitro fertilization, and sharing information about abortion services. Are there any exceptions to Senate Bill 323? In its current form, the bill includes no exceptions for rape, incest, or cases involving fatal birth defects. Abortion would be allowed only in cases where the mother's life is at immediate risk. So would someone go to jail if they got an abortion? If the bill passes, people could face a felony charge of up to 30 years in prison for having or helping with an abortion. People who refer patients to out-of-state clinics or give information about abortion access could also face legal penalties.
All right, thanks, Megan. Well, if this bill is passed, the law would take effect immediately after the governor signs it. And remember, if you have something you would like verified, you can email us at verify@wcnc.com.
7:43 now, it's time to connect the dots. That's when we make the news make sense. Walmart is pledging to eliminate synthetic food dyes from its store brands, a bold move that could reshape what ends up in your cart. The nation's largest retailer is saying goodbye to synthetic dyes and hello to natural ingredients. Let's connect the dots. The move comes as more shoppers are demanding clean ingredients, and health experts are raising concerns, pointing to possible links between synthetic dyes and behavioral issues in children. These changes matter because Walmart's scale alone can force change across the food industry. And they aren't alone. Companies like Kraft Heinz and Nestle are also working to phase out artificial dyes. The FDA already banning one of those dyes, red number 3, with more restrictions possible. So while the colors may look a little different on store shelves, the taste is largely the same, and the push toward products that are less artificial and more natural is only beginning. And that's connecting the dots.
All right, we are taking another live look at I-77. It continues to be major problems because of that accident. Majestic will have another update. We know some big slowdowns continue there.
Good morning, everyone. I want to let you know about a traffic alert this morning. Take a look at your screen. This is going to be a big mess. We're following a big crash on I-77 southbound lanes out towards Langtree Road. You can see the impacts here. We have the express lane that's completely blocked right here. 2 out of the 3 normal lanes are also really just moving slowly or completely blocked at this time. Some of those cars are trying to get off on the ramp or just trying to move right around it. You can see still a couple emergency responders are there on scene. We don't have word on exactly what's going on specifically as far as what happened with that accident, but as you can see, we're really focused on those impacts. Those impacts for your morning commute. This is another live camera look. You can see zoomed out more. Cars are at a complete standstill or just moving very, very slowly. Again, this is going to be on I-77 southbound lanes being impacted by this accident that is right there. The sign right there says Griffith Street right there towards Davidson, between Davidson and Mooresville. So as we switch it over to my map, I want to show you exactly what I'm looking at. It's not the only accident that's ongoing, but it's the most important one. Again, out towards Mooresville, I-77, blocked lanes, but right now cars are moving just rather slowly. So if this is your morning commute, just try to avoid I-77 right there because it is basically at a stop and go standstill like you just saw. So your best alternate route on I-77 southbound is just to take Charlotte Highway. You can see it right there through Mooresville though, and then from there get onto Highway 152 to 115 because that's going to be your best bet. If you are just to take Charlotte Highway all the way through, you're going to really have some significant delays still. So I suggest, even though it's going to take a little while longer, just try to go through Mooresville and that'll take you into Davidson and then down to Charlotte eventually. So it is going to be a slow morning commute if that is your typical way that you go. Again, we'll keep you up to date on the very latest as things continue to change. Chris, how's the weather? Hopefully a little better news, a little sunshine, something like that.
Definitely better than that traffic report, and that's not your fault. We are looking at a beautiful day, and I'm happy to say that Imelda will soon be a distant memory. It did roll past Bermuda either side of midnight last night, and the good thing about Bermuda is they have some really strict laws about how they build things. They have some of the best infrastructure that you can imagine of any of the islands because they have a lot that passes them in the middle of the Atlantic. Hurricane Imelda, as per the most recent advisory, it says 8 a.m., so it came out a little bit early. 80-mile-per-hour winds, so it's almost down to tropical storm strength. Do have a 10%, just a small 10% chance that this little low right off the Florida coast could develop in something. I think we'll especially watch it once it gets to the other side. But that's worth watching, and then over the next 3 to 7 days, watching a little wave far east of the Lesser Antilles. So nothing immediately. As for the Atlantic hurricane season, we've gotten through Imelda. We've officially had 4 hurricanes, and up next in the list is Jerry, Karen, and Lorenzo. So the hurricane name lists, they repeat themselves every single 6 years. They cycle through. It is officially in 1979 that the World Meteorological Organization decided, wow, we're just doing female names. That's not right. Let's alternate in between male and female. So way to go, World Meteorological Organization. So the WMO is the easier way of saying it. This first list that we're actually using this year is the only list of the 6 that every year has changed because a name or several have been retired. The first time we saw this list was in 1983. So the next time you saw the list was 1989. The only name that officially changed was Alicia changing over to Allison. Now, if you look at the top center, there's a really historic name that's on here. This is the same list that Hugo is on. Of course, 1989, one man that knows this better than anyone is going to be Larry Sprinkle. Hugo, of course, was retired this year. That turned over to Umberto. So the Umberto that we saw this year was actually the name that replaced Hugo in 1989. Humberto, by the way, every time it's formed has turned into a hurricane, but this year's Humberto was the strongest. So in 1995, this was another historic year. We had multiple names that formed. We had a change over to Olga, Rebecca, Lorenzo, and Michelle. So 4 names changed on the list. Now, if we go to 2007, you see another change. The A name changed over to Andrea, where the A is now changed twice in this list. You had Melissa, and then the I name also changes twice as well. So you have Ingrid here that changed over in 2007, and then also Dorian. Dorian pops up heading into the 2013 season. The Fernan, changing from Felix that we saw this year, also changed over as well. But you can see those changes. Eventually, once you get to 2019, that Dorian is going to be retired as well, changing over to Dexter, and that brings the list here in 2025. But as I mentioned, This list has changed each and every year. As of right now, it does not look like we've had any big-time storms that would be retired. The closest one would be Chantal, where it was a deadly storm that made landfall here in the Carolinas and had some epic rain, but I don't think it's on the right cusp to be retired. We actually haven't had a landfalling hurricane, but I just wanted to show you how these lists will evolve over time and how much they truly can change. But only this list and one other have changed officially 14 times, but as I mentioned, this is the only one that's changed each and every year. I'm hoping that it doesn't change in 2025. That's Raising Your Weather IQ. We'll be back with a full weather update at the top of the next hour.
We are once again calling on submissions for our next hometown hero. With the help of the Charlotte area Hyundai dealers, we are recognizing a current member of the military or veteran. All you have to do is head to WCNC.com/hometown hero between now and October 12th so you can nominate someone. If they win, they will get a brand new Hyundai Santa Fe. Best of luck.
All right, check this out. For this weekend's Roval 400 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, a NASCAR driver is set to honor a young girl who fought a battle of her own. William Byron's number 24 car will feature a design highlighting efforts to fight pediatric blood cancer. 4 artists were recruited to help, including a girl named Penelope, who was diagnosed with leukemia a few years ago. She is cancer-free now, but during her treatment, she relied on her stuffed bunny for comfort. Her drawing of that bunny will be on the side of Byron's car. Both Byron and Penelope's dad say her strength and optimism is infectious.
The drawing basically says, like, comfort is better to have with you. Like, comfort makes you stronger.
I just think she's very strong and mature for her age. I mean, she's been through a lot, so I think that's inspiration for somebody like myself or really anybody.
She's like a little rock star to begin with. Like, we've always felt that way about her. So now watching her on this stage is like kind of, it's just extra special to us too, because she went through so much as a kid. Like, it's really inspiring to see her inspire others.
Good to see her smile. Penelope and the other artists will join Byron at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for this weekend's race.
Well, it's time for your morning boost. One Texas community used the power, kindness, and social media to help a mom in distress. Sean Davis of Vernon, Texas, found an envelope full of cash and a daycare payment outside of a gas station. He immediately turned to Facebook and in less than an hour, with the help of the community, solved this mystery. Davis, who recently moved to the area from Seattle, says this moment provided that he and his wife chose the right place to settle down and was a sign that things would be okay in the world.
I know that mother was relieved to get that payment. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Another update on weather and traffic. Majestic is going to let us know the latest on that crash there that's really brought traffic to a complete, almost a standstill on I-77 southbound. And Chris will have details on your weather forecast on this Thursday. And then we'll be back with the day's top headlines at the top of the hour.
Well, good morning, everyone. I want to let you know about a big traffic alert for that morning commute. This is going to be on I-77, where we are seeing some significant delays for that morning commute. You can see cars are basically at a standstill for multiple miles at that. We know that several cars were involved in an accident. I wanted to show you a couple of different perspectives that I'm looking at, because this is going to be quite some time before it's all cleared out. Again, the biggest problem is right here, I-77 north of Griffith. You can see a couple emergency responders are still there, and those cars are moving rather slowly. The express lane blocked at this point, and cars are trying to get off on this ramp right here or go around it, but it's honestly not the best case scenario. Out towards Mooresville, again, just want to let you know, I-77 general purpose lanes are blocked near Langtree Road. Express lanes too. The ramp lane is moving generally a little bit better, but just try to take Charlotte Highway through Mooresville to help get you around the big problem. Chris, how's the weather this morning?
Oh, amazing. At least we got that sunshine. If you're sitting and hitting traffic, you can open up the windows, but it is a little bit on the cooler side. Mid-70s the next couple of days. The chilliest morning is tomorrow. After that, right around 80 degrees for your Saturday and Sunday. Looks to be great. Seeing an increase of our rain chances, though, heading into next week. Will be a little bit warmer and steamier at that point. Hey, we're live streaming right now on WCNC Plus. If you can't, we'll be back in 30.
Welcome into WCNC Plus at 8. I'm Autumn Bracey in for Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington.
We are following breaking news and new information on a plane collision that happened overnight. Authorities say two planes hit each other on the taxiway at LaGuardia Airport in New York.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live for us this morning at Charlotte Douglas, where we've learned that one of those planes involved took off from. Richard.
Yeah, it took off from Charlotte Douglas this last night. It landed this all happened around 10 o'clock last night when that plane from Charlotte was on the taxiway, and that other plane, which was heading to Virginia, was actually trying to take off. Those two planes collided in what airport authorities are saying was a low-speed collision. Now, some scary moments for all the passengers. This happened when that Delta CRJ 900 regional jet flight 5155 was about to lift off for Roanoke, Virginia. The aircraft's wing struck the cockpit window of another CRJ 900 flight 5047, which had just landed from Charlotte. In all this, one person was taken to the hospital, reportedly a flight attendant on that 5155 flight after injuring her knee in the incident. Both planes are operated by Endeavor Air. That's a Delta regional carrier. Passengers, of course, were shaken up in all this. None of them seriously injured, but take a listen to one passenger describe just what he was experiencing when all of this happened. Take a listen.
We were taking a right off of the main runway, and all of a sudden you feel the brakes go on, and you see this object coming across the left side of the plane. You feel the front of the plane just kind of get dragged to the right, and you can physically feel like in your seat, you moving to the right.
Again, we're told that none of the passengers on either flight were injured. That one flight attendant was taken to the hospital with what are called minor injuries, hurting the flight attendant's knee. Of course, the FAA is investigating this, and as they get more information to us, we'll give it to you. We're right here outside Charlotte Douglas. We'll send it back to you.
And Richard, you said they're calling this a low-speed collision.
That's absolutely correct. One was actually landed. The flight from Charlotte was landing and heading toward the taxiway, which is the next stop, would be heading to its approved gate where it would be able to deboard the plane. That other flight was actually in the process, being on the taxiway, was about to try to take off to go. It wasn't in the takeoff process, but it was taxiing to head to that area when that collision occurred.
All right, Richard Devane live for us this morning at Charlotte Douglas. Richard, thank you.
All right, let's get to our traffic alert this morning. I do want to let you know that we are seeing significant delays right now. This is on I-77 just north of Griffith. You can see the express lane is moving slowly. 2 out of the 3 normal lanes also just really stalled out. We've had an accident this morning. A couple emergency responders are there still on scene. I know lots of people trying to get off at that ramp. That's exit 31 right there at Langtree Road. But this is going to be a significant delay. That's exactly where the accident is. But just showing you perspective, this is now mile marker 33, backed up just a bit, even more. That's mile marker 35. So just showing you that those delays are going to be very, very likely. If this is going to be your morning commute, again, I-77 southbound. So if you are heading towards Charlotte, this is what it looks like right now. All lanes are currently going to be impacted by this. Again, the actual accident right there towards North Griffith Street. I want to show you on my map where this delay is, just putting you into giving you a better perspective even more so. So Mooresville right here, all of the lanes going to be delayed. They are moving a little bit better than where they were about 5 or 10 minutes ago, but this is going to be your best alternate route. Honestly, there isn't anything great because those delays are really, really building as it's now 8:04. I-77 southbound to Charlotte Highway, that'll help at first, but I would suggest just going through Mooresville. Then from there, just take Highway 152 to 115. That's where I'm seeing most of our green right there. So it is also going to add in for that morning commute driving through Mooresville, eventually getting to Davidson. But again, this is not going to be a place where you're going to want to drive this morning on I-77. All of that red is backed up for miles. We'll have another check on this situation, and I'm going to show you a couple of other things that are ongoing coming up in just a few minutes, but just make sure you plan accordingly. Chris, how's the weather today?
Amazing, and we are a little bit on the cooler side. It's 58 degrees right now. We did drop down to 57. 52 right around Lincolnton, 8 o'clock since the beginning of the hour. Here are our updated temperatures. We are back into the 50s for both Wadesboro and the Salisbury area. Not too bad. Celebrate good times, come on. This time tomorrow versus where we're at right now is going to be very similar, but I do think that we're going to drop down to a slightly cooler range into the lower 50s by tomorrow morning. As you can see, the big monitor right here is already up and going for our Thursday because it is Roval weekend, y'all. Charlotte Motor Speedway, that's what we're overlooking, where we have one of our mighty fine cameras across the Mr. Sparky Carolina Camera Network. The mid-70s today, which, by the way, is a downgrade because yesterday we had 81 degrees. I love the mid-70s with sunshine, so it depends on your preference. However, we do have a nice temperature range for everyone. May you like more the mid-70s or the mid-80s. We got them all for this coming week. Our lows, though, are at 58 now, 52 by tomorrow. So that's not the low. The low is about 57. I think we cool down to about 52, 53 over the next couple of mornings, and then we're back to around this range come Sunday, and then even seeing some lows right around 60 degrees. Tomorrow, though, we have a lot of sunshine, maybe a few more clouds than what we have today. Lower to the mid-70s, very similar days though. But our high school football forecast, if you go into the game, it's up and it's good. We're talking about temperatures in the lower 70s to begin the game, and by the final whistle, hopefully your team wins, we have the lower 60s. So it should be actually delightful. And I've been pumping a lot of things up all week long because this is the weekend to do it. The Renaissance Festival is this weekend. We also have Kids Fest on Saturday that I know is over in University City. We have the Panthers game on Sunday, the Roval 400, as I was mentioning, and there's a lot of other festivals that I don't have time to get to. So ye be having a good time, maybe a Ren Fest or not. So get outside and enjoy it, because one thing that has changed since Monday is we removed the rain chance on Sunday. Now it's just dry weather. It's great weather. We have the isolated rain chance, and it could become a little bit more scattered a little bit later on in the extended forecast. So right now we're looking at the mid 70s to the lower 80s and lower to the mid 80s with more of a humid environment Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. So that's really all that you need to know. But I do want to show you our more longer range forecast. Check it out. High pressure system moves out, and that's what's keeping it sunny. That's also allowing more clouds to roll in this weekend. But here's the big question mark as far as our impacts are concerned. This brings us up to about Wednesday at 2 p.m. Typically, when you have a front arrive, it oftentimes is a 1-2 punch if you have the right setup. It's called the prefrontal boundary followed by the actual front. So the prefrontal boundary could give us a chance for a stronger thunderstorm during your Wednesday afternoon. So right now, that's kind of my weather highlighter that I'm focusing in on. The front pass is cooling us down significantly for some morning rain on Thursday. But again, this is the day 7 to 8 time frame of the forecast. I'm just kind of pinging it right now, letting you know that we are watching this to see how it develops. Take care, everybody. We'll be back in no time in about 15 minutes.
Chris, thank you. New information giving us better insight into the moments after that deadly stabbing on Charlotte's light rail. WCNC Charlotte has been going through multiple audio files from those panicked passengers. Many of these audio clips are hard to listen to. The first file is from someone who says that he was near Irina Zarutska when she was attacked.
This is Charlotte 911. Do you need police, fire, medic? We on the plane. This man stabbed this woman for no reason. I was dead right beside her. You said a male stabbed someone for no reason? Do they need medic? Yes, on the train. Yes, the f***ing cleaning. Okay, stay on line with medic. Medic and county fire. What is the address of the emergency? We're right at the, what is this? We're at South Hill, right across from Abercrombie East and West Boulevard, the train station. Right, hang on, let me get that pulled up here. East and West, just East and West Boulevard, train station right across. Oh my God, he just stabbed her to death. Okay. Okay, are you with the person that was stabbed? Sir, are you with the person that was stabbed? Sir, can you hear me? I can't hear you, man. What you say? Okay, are you with the person that was stabbed? Ma'am? Are you with the person that was stabbed? Yes, sir, they died. Okay, how old is the person that was stabbed? I'm killing myself. I might see this shit amount of business. He just got up. Sir, is the person that stabbed someone, are they still there? No, they got off the train.
Surveillance video just released yesterday shows police arresting the suspect, DeCarlos Brown, shortly after that stabbing. Here is another portion from that call from a man who was standing across from the suspect on a different platform, waiting for authorities to arrive.
Hello? Sir, you said that the male suspect who stabbed that female is there on the other platform? Yeah, he's on the other platform. He's a black male. He has dreadlocks. He got his hand wrapped up in a red jacket, a black t-shirt, because his fingers like hanging off his hand. Okay, he got dreadlocks. He got on blue jeans, a black t-shirt, and his hand is wrapped up. He got long dreads, and he's walking back and forth on the platform. Is he wearing an orange hoodie? No, he got a black t-shirt on. The hoodie's wrapped around his hand.
Now, in addition to being charged with Irina Zarutska's murder, Brown is facing a federal charge for causing a death on a mass transportation system. He is in jail while being evaluated by the state to assess his capacity to proceed with a trial.
Coming up, the scams you should watch out for during this federal government shutdown. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right, time now, 8:13. We are taking a live look over Washington, D.C. this morning. The sun has come up where that government is shut down, and so are lawmakers. Senators are not in session today, meaning there's no opportunity for votes that could reopen the government.
Now, as Americans prepare to deal with the consequences, NBC's Bianca Fascini is learning how soon the Trump administration will begin mass firings.
Every other
to make this bill
shutdown.
24 hours later, and both sides are still blaming each other.
Donald Trump and Republicans shut the federal government down.
The Democrats followed through on their threat to shut down the United States government.
While lawmakers will be in Washington Thursday, Capitol Hill was already planned to be fairly quiet in observance of Yom Kippur, according to Senate Majority Leader John Thune. The Senate holds their next vote Friday afternoon. As Americans wait for the stalemate to resolve, many federal workers are bracing for layoffs.
We're not getting paid for the work we're performing. We're nervous about making ends meet. And the American people are also nervous about what a government shutdown means to their earned benefits.
We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run.
Now, the Democrats say these layoffs will be targeted toward government programs the GOP doesn't like.
Targeting the clean energy economy. Republicans have been doing that since January 20th and assaulted the clean energy economy and the creation of good-paying American jobs in their one big, ugly bill.
But it's a claim that the administration denies. At the heart of the issue is health care. The Democrats want to reverse Medicaid cuts in President Trump's tax breaks and spending reductions from the summer. They also want to extend tax credits that make health insurance premiums more affordable for the millions of people who purchase through the Affordable Care Act. For now, it seems like neither side is willing to budge. And according to the Congressional Budget Office, an estimated 750,000 federal employees could be furloughed each day of a shutdown. Now, the shutdown means the Labor Department will be unable to release its monthly jobs report tomorrow, though it is highly anticipated since the labor market has shown signs of softening. In Washington, Bianca Fascini, NBC News.
Well, coming up in about 20 minutes, our Destiny Richards will be breaking down how the shutdown is impacting us locally.
The shutdown is not only creating hardships for hundreds of thousands, it's also creating an opportunity for scammers looking to cash in on the crisis. Scott Budman reports.
The government is shut down, but scammers have gone to work.
So we're seeing attacks scale up.
Taking advantage of the fact that we rely on the government for services, money, all sorts of things now on hold.
Hackers are opportunists. What they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, we see this government shutdown. There's no legitimate government organization that might be reaching out. So how about we do that? We're going to capitalize on that fear.
Among the top scams, according to Silicon Valley security companies, threats to take away your government benefits unless you hand over data, offers for money to those worried about government funds like Social Security during the shutdown, and fake job offers. In other words, preying on our anxieties.
Our health, our money, our schools, all the government services that we've come to rely on.
So how do you avoid becoming a target? Local security executive Michelle Dennedy says if an offer seems too personal or unusual in any way, don't trust it.
Would my congressman or senator take the time to email me?
Fair point.
Probably not. Slow down. Think about, does the DMV come to your home? No. Do they text me? No.
Scott Budman with that report. A live look now at I-77. You can see the southbound lanes there near Griffith just almost at a standstill. That's because of the crash that happened earlier this morning, still affecting traffic there. It's going to be that way for quite some time. Majestic will have an update for us coming up in just 2 minutes.
All right, good morning, everyone. We do have a traffic alert for you. Look at this backed up line of cars. Now, this is at mile marker 36, where cars are moving rather slowly. This is mile marker 35 now. Overall, this is going to be on your I-77 southbound commute if you are making your way towards Charlotte. I just want to show you how backed up this is and the impacts that you'll see for that morning time commute. This is I-77 north of Griffith, where the actual accident is still taking place. They're still clearing it right here. Again, the express lane is blocked at this time. Cars are moving. They're just moving rather slowly. So you're going to want to avoid that area. Again, north of Uptown right here. It's on I-77, and it's going to be right right near Langtree Road. That's exit 31, and it's backed up to at least exit 33. So your best alternate route, you may just want to take from I-77 Charlotte Highway, go through Mooresville, and then take Highway 152 to 115. Now that's just going to take a little more time, but that's going to be your best alternate route because of how slow moving I-77 is at this time. Otherwise, we do have a new accident to let you know about right here. As we zoom it in, you can see it's going to be on Monroe Road. Not seeing significant delays, but again, we'll keep you up to date on the very latest with that accident on I-77 in Mooresville, impacting those southbound lanes.
Well, great job, Majestic. Not a great traffic report, but that's not your fault. But boy, it is a great forecast. We are on the chillier side. It's a type of forecast that, hey, starting off the morning, you might need a sweatshirt or a light jacket, and that's going to end up in the back seat, hopefully not left at the playground. We only say that from experience as a kid. Lost a lot of jackets this time of year, especially up in New England. 54 degrees right around Lincolnton, 51 in Salisbury, 63 for you in Boone. That's a difference of up to 10 to 13 degrees compared to just a day ago, almost on par around Boone. At one point, there was a 17-degree difference from temperature to temperature in a 24-hour span over in Wadesboro. So yeah, I think it's a pumpkin spice type forecast. Oh, no data is rolling in. That's still stuck on Wednesday. Don't worry about it. And for your pumpkin picking forecast, this is actually working. We have temperatures getting into the lower to the mid-70s. I'm talking about not a cloud in the sky. Now, many of you might be thinking, well, it's not the weekend, Chris. Well, not all places are just weekend driven. One of my favorites, Bush and Vine. I'm not associated. It's just one of my favorite places because if you actually like going and picking pumpkins off the vine, Bush and Vine is your place. That's an awesome place. And they're also open from about Monday through Saturday as well. So that's always a big fan favorite. It's packed during the weekends though. We have the lower to the mid 70s today, about the same for tomorrow. And then we're right around that 80-degree point heading into the weekend. But there's going to be some slight changes by the back end of the weekend. But it's now that you really got to start thinking about checking off the APFs, the apples, the pumpkins, and the foliage. The fall foliage right now is only really super visible on top of Grandfather Mountain. So you literally have to go up to the bridge. That's peaking about this weekend though. And then it's a week after this that we start to see a really big color shift up and down the Blue Ridge Parkway, really more so over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then our pumpkin picking forecast, that's prime right now, and apples as well. You have to book your spots in advance because those are booking up really quick, especially in weather like this. It's feeling the most fall-like today, tomorrow, and Saturday, but then we start to see a return of that muggier air. That's by the back end of the weekend, but we're really feeling it on Tuesday into Wednesday. I've been mentioning our rainfall chances. I think that we have to just be aware we could see widespread rain on your Tuesday heading into Wednesday. 70 forecast brought to you by Jerry Hunt Super Center. Seeing the warmest and I think the most humid days lower to the mid 80s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But guess what? As soon as that front passes, we're back to either side of 70 degrees, even some days in the 60s to end next week. There it is. Up next, my man, Larry Sprinkle. What's going on?
It's October 2nd, and on this day in history, all concerns our first president, George Washington, and what he did as we go back to October 2nd, 1789. President George Washington sent copies of 12 amendments to the 13 colonies to be ratified. 10 of those were eventually ratified as the Bill of Rights, all happening on this day in history, October 2nd, 1799. Documents were sent to the 13 colonies that eventually became the Bill of Rights. That's on this day in history. I'm Larry Sprinkle.
All right, Larry, thanks so much. 8:25 now. We're going to take a quick break. We'll make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. We're going to have another update of weather and traffic in just 2 minutes. And then the day's top headlines at 8:30.
Good morning, everyone. We do have a traffic alert for that morning commute. If you typically drive in Iredell County, this is I-77 southbound lanes really being impacted here. 3 lanes currently blocked. This is going to be at Langtree Road. That's exit 31, but it is backed up to at least exit 33. You can see all the red here. This is going to be stop and go traffic. That's what I'm looking at on my map. But even as we switch it on over to one of our live camera views, you can see those cars that are moving incredibly slowly at this time because of that ongoing wreck. The express lane is closed. The other 2 lanes are just moving very, very slowly, trying to get off on that ramp, but this is going to be backed up. That's mile marker 33, just giving you another perspective. This is actually mile marker 35 now, so you can see how stop and go that morning commute is going to be for you. Your best alternate route, try to take Charlotte Highway, go through Mooresville, and then from there take Highway 152. Even if you have to go through Davidson, that's going to be much better than what's going on right now on I-77. Chris, what's going on with the roads? Actually, the weather this morning, much better than the roads, right?
Well, great update on the roads, but the weather, looking great. We have lots and lots of sunshine. We have that 80-degree point that's going to be back in action by this weekend. So today is a little bit of a downgrade from a high temperature, but it's going to be great. Wall-to-wall sunshine status. Enjoy it. Feeling a little more humid, clouding things up a little bit more by the weekend. Next rain chances, well, I think they're really holding off until Monday afternoon, more so on Tuesday and Wednesday. So enjoy the dry stretch, feeling perfectly fall-like. By the way, we're live streaming on WCNC Plus right now. Come join us.
Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Autumn Bracey. We begin with a breaking news update. We're learning more about a deadly shooting near Uptown last night. CMPD identifying the person shot on Metropolitan Avenue as a 16-year-old boy. It happened around 9 near a large shopping area off of Charlottetown Avenue. CMPD tells us an off-duty officer heard the call for service and found that teen. That officer administered CPR, but the teen died at the hospital. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number to call is 704-334-1600.
We are now in day 2 of the government shutdown, and more than 100,000 North Carolina federal employees are not receiving paychecks.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards joins us in studio this morning to break down some of the local impacts. Destiny.
As the shutdown enters day 2, families across North Carolina are left wondering when their next paycheck will come. And local organizations say they're already stretched thin. 140,000 federal employees are missing paychecks, and many are expected to be furloughed. Active duty military and TSA workers in North Carolina are still reporting to work and could go without immediate pay if the shutdown extends beyond 2 weeks. Local leaders say small businesses and recovery efforts in western North Carolina could also feel the impact if this lasts much longer. Here in Charlotte, nonprofits like Nourish Up are already bracing for more demand, remembering the last shutdown in 2018 that stretched into 2019.
We just can't afford any more cuts at all or any more delay in those services and benefits. It's quite alarming and just scary situation for our neighbors that rely on us for support and those that may need to rely on us in the future.
State officials say benefits like SNAP and WIC have enough cushion for now, but that could change if the shutdown continues. In the meantime, Nourish Up is asking for donations and volunteers to help families in need. We have information on how to do that in this story on the WCNC News app. Autumn.
Thanks, Destiny. As the government shutdown continues, many folks in western North Carolina are concerned about aid for Helene. State lawmakers share those worries and say that a long-term shutdown would pose some serious problems for recovery efforts.
Federal funding has been historically slow coming to our state for Hurricane Helene recovery. So that obviously it's not going to speed up if there's a government shutdown. That trickle may come to a complete stop.
State Senator Michael Garrett says if we see another shutdown like the last one in 2018, it could cost our state hundreds of millions of dollars.
All right, good morning, everyone. We have been following an ongoing accident for you this morning. It is going to be on I-77 southbound lanes out just north of Griffith. That's where we've had significant delays for over an hour now. 3 lanes blocked again southbound at Langtree Road. That's exit 31. It's backed up to at least exit 33. You can see all the red right here. So if you're heading towards Charlotte, and again, this is one of our live camera traffic cameras that just got updated. They control this, and we just want to give a check on what's going on there. So you can see we do have a couple of emergency responders there on scene. Let me see if I can see a little bit more of a perspective on that buildup. You can see this is going to be mile marker 33 still, where cars are just moving rather slowly, and even now mile marker 35. So here's the bottom line. Your best alternate route to avoid this is going to be I-77. If you typically drive in from I-77 and you take the southbound lanes, try to take Charlotte Highway, but here's a catch. Try to go through Mooresville, get onto Highway 52 to 115, because if you just take Charlotte Highway all the way around, you're just going to really get stuck in more traffic because a lot of people are trying to do that. So it's going to take you a little while longer to get to where you need to be this morning because of that ongoing delay. Otherwise, we are still seeing mild conditions as far as traffic goes around Charlotte. This one crash that I was talking about on Monroe Road has since been cleared, so that's some good news for us. We'll have another check on everything else that's going on around town coming up here in just a little while. Chris, what's new with the weather?
Not too much, lots and lots of sunshine to go around. So here's what it's looking like right now. We have mostly sunny skies to sunny skies. I think today's really a day that you barely have a cloud in the sky. 58 degrees overall, and then a humidity at about 78%. But as Majestic's been talking about, major backups, so you're going to be stuck in traffic. But here's the weather as you're going to be along your morning commute. Temperatures getting into the 60s over the next hour or so. Winds barely moving, just about 7 to 12 miles per hour. That's still known as a gentle breeze. And you can see by our evening commute, not a lot of the changes, back into the 70s, mainly the mid 70s overall. Winds not changing much. And here's the big deal. Rain, a whole lot of nothing. So not a big hazard there. Now by tomorrow morning, we're starting off in the 50s, even more so the lower 50s. Winds a little bit lighter as well, but that rain still at a none status. Current temperatures elsewhere across the area, 57 right around Hickory, 61 right around the Morganton area, 54 over here in Wadesboro. Some of us dropped down to the upper 40s, including you, Wadesboro. And our high temperatures ranging really from 72 about 76 across the greater Charlotte area up to Hickory down to Lancaster. And as I mentioned, about a gentle breeze, 7 to 12 miles per hour. Just great. Just pure greatness, something to get excited about. Heading out for the evening, I think it's great to maybe eat outside when the sun is up, but for me personally, when the sun goes down and temperatures down to the lower 60s, get a little bit of chill in the air. It's like having a big vent above you and just chilling out at the desk. Lisa, I'm talking to you because we have big air conditioning right above her. 52 degrees is what we have for tonight, and I think this is going to be the absolute bottom that we have for the week. Saturday is very similar overall. Sunrise time for tomorrow, right around 7:20. Our low temperatures all over the place. Lower 50s to the lower 60s over the next 7 days. But then once we get a cold front, that's going to be the big deal of our forecast. We're settling back into the lower 50s, and check out how it looks for our highs. The mid 70s over the next couple of days, lower to the mid 80s through the weekend into next week. But that cold front is all the difference. Boo! 81 down all the way to 68 degrees. And that's all correlated with our rain chances as well. That's the biggest question mark that we have for the long term. Truly, once you get to day 7, today of the forecast, there's always a lot of questions. But this is our best chance for widespread rain and even some thunderstorms. So, of course, we'll let you know the weather impacts once it gets a little bit closer. But in the near term, don't worry about it. Living is easy. Enjoy it. Let's head back over to Autumn and Lisa.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. Well, it is October. That means it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. How rising breast cancer rates are affecting families across the country. As the month of October gets underway, it's not just about leaves, pumpkins, and candles. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Studies show breast cancer rates continue to rise in women, and the everyday impact is being felt in families across the country. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg looks into these rates and one of the hardest types of breast cancer to detect.
The American Cancer Society found breast cancer cases have increased at least 1% every year. Reports show 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed in their lifetime, and more people are getting diagnosed younger. About 16% of women with breast cancer are younger than 50 years old. According to the American Cancer Society, most cancers are carcinomas. When carcinomas form in the breast, they usually start in the milk ducts or the glands. Dr. Megan Cruz, a breast oncologist specialist with the Cleveland Clinic, says cancer that starts in the glands can be harder to detect.
The reason that lobular cancers are different than ductal cancer cells is when you look at those cancer cells under the microscope, they grow in single file lines compared to how ductal cancers typically grow in lumps or tumors.
Because of that, Dr. Cruz explains it can be hard to detect in self-exams and mammograms, which means it's harder to detect in the early stages. But she says it can still be treated.
Even if these cancers are diagnosed at a later stage, maybe they're not all stage 1s, there can be stage 2 and stage 3. Those are still very much curable breast cancers.
Cruz says if you are 40 years or older, older start getting annual mammograms and perform regular self-examinations. And if something doesn't feel right, get it checked. Megan Bragg, WCNC Charlotte.
Well, for many, the battle with cancer includes chemotherapy. While it is effective, there are many side effects, including one that changes a patient's sense of taste.
Now, food may not be appealing during treatment, but there are some ways around that. Mandy Gather shows us how one cancer survivor learned to love food again.
It was the first day of retirement when Molly Miley received the results of her mammogram. There were signs of breast cancer.
It was shocking and shattered, my world for a while.
Next came surgery, chemo, and radiation therapy, and that's when she noticed her senses were off.
Food didn't look good. It didn't taste good. It didn't smell good. I had a very metallic taste in my mouth.
At the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center, Miley met Dina Champion and learned she's not alone.
It is probably one of the most common side effects I hear as a dietitian.
That's why the Garden of Hope was created. Miley and more than 200 other cancer survivors and their families get free weekly vegetables and herbs, nutrition counseling, and cooking demonstrations every year. It's all geared for those who may not be into food because of their loss of taste or sore mouth from chemo.
You can get outside, connect with nature, connect with your food as it's growing. And it's a space where we don't just talk to our survivors about eating more produce, but we actually go out there and we let them pick it.
Miley says it's one of the best things she's done since her diagnosis, allowing her to once again enjoy food.
It's definitely something we take for granted until it's gone.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, the dietitian says food-focused holidays like Thanksgiving can be stressful for patients with a sore mouth or changes in taste. She suggests setting boundaries before getting together, asking people not to comment on the types of food or the amount the patient is eating. She also says patients should send over a recipe or two or bring a dish that is easy for them to eat.
Right now, we're going to take another live look at the roads. We've been telling you about the problems on I-77 southbound near Mooresville this morning, where there was a crash that slowed traffic quite a bit now. You see, again, traffic appears to be moving right now, but a number of emergency personnel still on the interstate there. Majestic is going to have a full update for us in 2 minutes.
Good morning, everyone. We do have a traffic alert to let you know about. Another update on everything that I've been carefully watching for you. We'll start with our maps. Going to be mainly north of Uptown. It is north of Uptown. It's on I-77, still impacting southbound lanes out near Mooresville. Now, here's a few things for you to know. 3 lanes are still blocked because of an accident starting at Langtree Road. That's exit 31, but it's backed up to exit 33. You can see all of the red right here. Here's a live camera view of the emergency responders that are there on scene. You can see cars are starting to move a little bit better than where they were just about 5 to 10 minutes ago. The express lane, though, is completely blocked off at this time. So again, this is going to be our closest camera out towards areas north of Griffith. That's on I-77. I'm going to show you a couple more of our cameras so you can just kind of get some perspective on what this is looking like. Another angle there where you can see cars are moving. They're just going to be moving rather slowly, like right here where you can see they're just basically at a stop and go. We'll give you another update on that coming up. But for what you need to know as far as an alternate route goes, if you take I-77 southbound, try to take Charlotte Highway, and then from there, try to go through Mooresville to get onto Highway 152 to 115. Now, this is still going to add for your morning commute. However, if you just stay on Charlotte Highway, notice red is also building. So I-77 and Charlotte Highway aren't really your best options at this point. It's going to take you through Mooresville and eventually out towards Davidson. Again, that's the biggest story for us this morning. Of course, we will be carefully following that for you. But I do also want to let you know about a new accident. This is going to be on Short Hills Drive at Nations Ford Road. That's where we do have some slowdowns that are on the way. Again, that's what I'm looking at on my maps as far as traffic goes. But for now, we're going to send things over to Chris with a check of your weather forecast. Good morning.
Good morning. All in all, not too bad. Great job, Majestic. Hurricane Imelda, I want to give this one last update, because likely tomorrow it's really not going to be even a big deal. Now, a fish storm heading out in the middle Atlantic, all that really means is that it's spending more time with the fishes than any threat to land. Now, Hurricane Imelda is barely a Category 1 hurricane. Once it gets down below 74, it's officially a tropical storm, Imelda. It did cruise through Bermuda. I have no really recent reports of any significant damage there. Still, of course, not completely unscathed, but Bermuda is really well built to withstand up to at least a Category 2 hurricane. Once you get to major status, things change up a little bit, but still, hey, close enough. 10% chance that this little wave just east of Florida, I think up to 3 inches of rain is going to be a possibility. A 20% chance for development for this wave. It's still very much October. Now, if you caught me over on WCNC Charlotte, we didn't show it here on our Plus channel. I did the 5 worst October hurricanes. We've had a lot of them. If you missed it, our Weather IQ YouTube channel is a great source for that. But there's been multiple storms that have formed at this time to even the end of October, including Superstorm Sandy. That was a rarity. And so far for our progress report, we've had now 9 named storms, 4 hurricanes, and 3 of those have been major. But I want to show you something about this list that you're looking at right on the screen. It wasn't always like this. Well, it was back in 1979 that the World Meteorological Organization, let's call it the WMO, decided that we're going to change up our naming system, because before all these names were females. That's not fair. So officially in 1979, they switched it over to alternating male and female names. There are 6 official lists, but this one that you're looking at that started in 1983 that we are using today is the one that has changed the most. 14 names officially. But the biggest deal here is every single year of his existence, there's been at least one retired name. It started with Alicia, 1983, the worst storm of the year, and that changed over to Allison. Now, there's one name that stands out from all the rest. My man Larry Sprinkles over there, he knows this better than anyone here. Hugo. Hugo officially changed to Umberto, which we had the pleasure of meeting this year. Luckily, not a big threat. It did become a Category 5. By the way, every year that Umberto has become a thing, it's become a hurricane. This is the only year that it became a Category 5. In 1995, boy, was this an active year. Luis, Maryland, just naming a few. Also Opal that impacted parts of Florida. That changed over to Olga. And then Rebecca came on here. So hope Rebecca Birdsall, or Becca as we call her, her name isn't going to ever be met at this point. But yeah, 1995 was one of the more active years that we had 4 official retirees. Then also you had Ingrid officially that came around. Lorenzo popping up here on the list. Melissa eventually changed over the M names twice. But you can see this progression as we go through history from 2013 to 2019. In 2019, there was only one name that changed, and that Dorian, Well, changed over to Dexter that we saw this year. Now, Dexter was barely even a memory whatsoever, but that's really the progression that we've seen for a typical hurricane name list. But again, the one that separates this one from all the rest is that every year it's changed. But will 2025 do that? The only one that's going to come close to being retired is Chantal. Chantal was a deadly storm, but it has to reach a certain level as far as destruction and loss of life. It might be just below that. So you might see the name Chantal again, but we'll see how the rest of the season goes. I'm personally going to keep my fingers crossed. Lisa, take it away. You're talking about something completely opposite of what I'm talking about.
Chris, we're talking about the Woolly Worm Festival. 1 year after Helene, the Woolly Worm Festival is returning to Banner Elk stronger than ever. Thousands of people are expected to cheer on fuzzy caterpillars racing to predict winter weather. Along with the races, folks can enjoy live music, local crafts, and mountain food. Organizers say there are some new features this year. A shuttle service will now be available from Lee's McRae College, making it easier for visitors to access the downtown area. The festival runs October 18th and 19th. Tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for kids ages 6 to 12, and kids ages 5 and under are free. You can find a link to buy some by going to our website, also finding it on the WCNC Charlotte mobile app. Interesting.
It's all judged by how much black to brown ratio is on there.
Right, and it's the number of weeks of winter, is that right?
Yeah, actually, there's going to be a full report that it literally breaks it down like weeks 1 through 4, weeks 8, weeks 9, all judgment by the different rings of the caterpillar.
And how accurate would you say it is typically?
Depends on what you believe.
If only it was that easy.
Yeah.
If only, right?
Yeah, if we could judge it by caterpillars and stuff like that, we wouldn't have the stipulations of, oh, I wish I could flip a quarter and be right as much as a meteorologist. No.
Yeah.
Now, like anything, a broken clock's right twice a day or whatever.
2
times a day is how the saying goes. So yeah, but most of the time,
we rely on our meteorologists.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
it's just
the fair.
a good time, but it looks like a fun time.
It's like trusting the groundhog. But no matter what about the accuracy of the caterpillar, it's a great time. And Brad Panovich is going to be up there this year. So.
Enjoy the festival. The North Carolina State Fair returns October 16th with nearly 90 new food items on the menu. Some items to look out for. Listen to this. Deep fried bacon turtle cheesecake. Okay.
Not real turtle.
Frozen fried watermelon.
Ooh, I can get down with that.
And flaming hot Cheetos pickle pizza.
Oh my,
Those are so over the top.
There's so many options. There's also pork belly churros and stuffed turkey legs with Mexican street corn. Oh my goodness. And you can wash it all down with a cheerwine slush topped off with vanilla cream and cake pops for dessert.
Why wouldn't you?
Oh,
right?
So much, so much. All right, we got to take a break. Stop thinking about all that food. You can eat your heart out later. A pumpkin weighing more than 1,800 pounds is on display at a Maryland farm. That pumpkin is named My Man Mason and weighs a hefty 1,852 pounds. It's going to be on display until noon Saturday, October 25th. The first person to guess the correct number of seeds contained in that giant pumpkin will win a $300 Valley View Farms gift card. Valley View, of course, is widely known as Maryland's fall headquarters with thousands of pumpkins of all sizes, plus every other type of fall decoration imaginable. So much. We could go on and on. We got to take a quick break, though. That's a huge pumpkin.
Who's counting all the seeds?
I know, that's what I was thinking. Imagine
world?
that. It's like drawing the short straw. You have to count all the seeds.
Imagine that. And then double count to make sure you got it right.
Oh, the recount.
All right, time now for us to take a look at our live Impact News studio where our own Jaden Monreal is going to be taking over at the top of the hour. But before that, we'll have another update of weather and traffic.
Well, good morning, everyone. We do want to let you know about a traffic alert this morning. It's going to be north of Uptown on I-77, impacting those southbound lanes. You can see the red right here. It's a combination of a lot of people all heading in the same direction and also an earlier accident. 3 lanes blocked and starting out there at Langtree Road, backed up to exit 33. However, they are starting to make some improvements slowly but surely. You're going to want to allow for plenty of extra drive time to get to where you need to be. Again, this is a live camera look coming in north of Griffith Street. It is moving. It's just going to be moving rather slowly for that morning commute. Chris, how's
Not too bad, actually amazing. Looking at lots and lots of sunshine. Pretty much a wall-to-wall sunshine type of scenario, mid-70s. Smack dab in the middle of the 70s is going to feel great tonight. It's going to be the coolest night that we have over the next 7, lower 50s, and then we can see that we're warming up back to around 80 degrees on Saturday. Our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast right around 80 for your Saturday, Sunday. Lower to the mid-80s with increasing rain chances heading into your Tuesday and Wednesday. Continue to join us on WCNC Plus. We appreciate you. Back at 11:30.